Miro gets mad at me. Okay, everybody, awesome. Okay, so seated position, just sitting down for a second. Relax yourself as much as you can. Start to take a breath in through the nose and then out. If you haven't already, guys, please mute yourselves. So Jason, yeah, mute yourself. That way I don't get any crosstalk around, right? Good. So breathe in through the nose, then out through the mouth. So nice and simple. And what I want you to do is you can do a hard count if you want. So let's say breathe in for 1 second, like just count in your head, and then breathe out for 1 second. And then breathe in for 2 seconds. And then breathe out for 2 seconds. And I'm giving you a count, but I want you to focus on not a count, but pressure in the body. So what I want you, as you're breathing in, yes, you're gonna hear my number, but I want you to feel the pressure building up in your chest from the more air coming in. And then when you breathe out, the pressure being relieved from the chest. So focus on the feeling, but maybe listen to my number, but focus on the feeling of what your chest feels like when the lungs start to fill up. So breathe in for 3 seconds. Breathe out for 3 seconds. Remember, out through the mouth, right? In for 4 seconds. Pay attention to the pressure. Breathe out for 4 seconds. Feel the pressure coming off. In for 5 seconds. Out for 5 seconds. In for 6 seconds. Out for 6 seconds. In for 7 seconds. Out for 7 seconds. In for 8 seconds. Out for 8 seconds. Okay, great. That we can cut it there. You can go and build this up to 20 in, 20 out if you like. But I want you guys to start changing the narrative from a number and fixating on a number to more the feeling of pressure on your body. Now, I can tell you guys about 4 years ago, I started wearing a heart rate monitor when I was training. And it was just to know the level of my heart rate. And what I realized in less than a month is that I didn't need the heart rate monitor anymore. I could tell after just seeing it after a while, it would tell you the number on my phone. I wore it across my chest and I said, wow, I'm at 140 beats per minute or I'm 130. And I could tell in less than a month, say maybe 5 weeks, I could tell roughly within 5 beats per minute where my heart rate was. So, and it's just by the feeling, it completely by the feeling I had. Okay. So it doesn't take long for you if you focus on the feeling. Guys, somebody's unmuted. You got to mute yourself, please. I don't know who's going to get crosstalk. Who's unmuted here? Ralph, you got to mute yourself, man. There you go. Okay. So the pressure, so yes, I'm going to hear my number, but I want you to focus on the pressure. Okay. Think of feeling the pressure. It'll take a little time, but you're going to actually get a good chance at the feeling how the pressure feels in the body with more air. Now, change something for me, okay? So now I'm sitting on a bench, okay? And look how different positions of your body changes the pressure that you feel when you breathe. So I'm going to give you a quick example. So everybody stand up. And if you can, I want you to stand on something. Like I'm going to stand on this bench, okay? So I'm above, right? And it can be a chair, or something. Try to stand on something, like elevate yourself above your normal position. Okay, now, again, through the same routine. Breathe in for 1 second. Breathe out for 1 second. Breathe in for 2 seconds. Pay attention to the pressure. Breathe out for 2 seconds. In for 3. Out for 3. In for 4. Out for 4. In for 5. Out for 5. Focus on the pressure, right? In for 6. Out for 6. In for 7. Out for 7. In for 8. Out for 8. Awesome. Okay, you can come on down. I don't know if any of you felt that, but for myself, the breathing felt different at an elevated height. Now, I know it's not much, it doesn't seem like much, but boy, that perspective was different. I don't know why the air felt different up there for some strange reason. Now, you'll be detecting all kinds of little things. Like I felt, because heat rises, right? It felt warmer up here for me. I could feel the heat, the air I was breathing had a different density to it. I just feel subtle differences. Remember, being able to detect pressure and sensing differences is huge, guys. It's massive for your awareness skills as a person, right? So changing these variables and saying to yourself, when I'm seated is different than when I'm standing, is different than when I'm laying down. We can do laying down as well. You'll feel that completely different, right? But we've done laying down quite a bit, so I'm not going to recap it. But understand the difference between lying on your stomach, lying on your side, lying on your back. The pressure of the floor puts different, it will change the pressure that's happening on your chest. If any of you have ever gone up to the mountains, you'll understand that as well too. High altitude puts a different type of pressure, and the same if you go scuba diving. The pressure, the deeper you go, puts a different type of pressure onto the body, right? And well, it's pretty real, and these conditions are quite serious, right? So something to take note of. Okay, stay with the bench. If you have any questions before I jump, I don't want to jump without if somebody has any questions. Just unmute yourself if you have a question. No? Okay. I want to zip ahead. All right. Benches now. So I want you to work. So the month of December, I just made some small changes to some of the training things I was doing, where I took all the basic things I did, push-ups, squats, leg raises, body raises, and I inserted a tool like a bench. Okay, there's this one here, like something like a solid chair, or a little kind of something that's pretty sturdy like this bench. And I added all the exercises that I know, but it changed them all. So let me show you some, and maybe we could do some together, and then you can kind of integrate it into kind of your plan. If you like. Okay, so let me just move my camera back so you can kind of see me a little bit better. I hope everybody can still see me well. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take the typical push-up, right? And you're going to put your both hands on top of the bench, okay, or on top of your chair, and just simply do 10 push-ups. So we can kind of do them together, right? So you breathe in, you breathe out, and just do 10 on your own now as you have them on a chair or on a couch at home or a sturdy little stool. And just do simply 10 push-ups in a little bit of an elevated position of the upper body. Now, what I noticed for myself when I did these push-ups, you can keep going, guys. You can listen to me while you're doing them if you need, that compared to a regular push-up, I had the pressure coming into my chest, coming out. But on an elevated push-up, there was less pressure on my chest and a little bit more tension towards my shoulders. So I felt a buildup of pressure towards the bottom part of my shoulders, right? Now I'm going to take those same 10 push-ups. I don't know, pick a number, 5, 10, whatever you like. Just pick something that you're comfortable with. I don't want you to do it to struggle. Now I'm going to put my feet on the bench. So I'm going to put both feet on top of the bench. And of course, the angle, so I've got more weight coming down towards my upper body now, right? And again, I don't want you to get lost on the push-ups. Try to understand the pressure that's being put on your body, okay? When I did that last one, I had no pressure on my legs. I had no pressure on my back whatsoever, none. Now, when my legs are going to be on this bench and my hands on the ground, it's going to change. Pay attention, okay? Do 5 or 10, whatever you can, okay? So both legs are on the bench. Okay. So let me just ask you some questions now. Where did you feel pressure? So think of your normal push-up. Where did you feel it? Upper arms? Anybody feel any pressure on the wrist? More pressure, increased pressure on the wrist, right? Anybody feel pressure on the low back? Right? Yeah, there's so it's very interesting to understand how, I mean, this bench is only like 16 inches higher than the ground. It's not like, 45 degrees or something. It's barely over a foot over the ground. And it already has a completely different effect. If I do a regular push-up flat on the ground, I don't have any pressure on my wrist. I don't have any pressure on my low back whatsoever. That small change had that much of an impact on what I felt in the experience, okay? So again, I'm just taking a standard push-up and I'm changing an elevation of less than 16 inches. Okay, that's all. That's not much. Now I'm gonna go like the other way. So I'm kind of working with angles. I'm gonna put one hand on the bench and one foot on the bench, and one hand on the ground and one foot on the ground. So just watch me before you try it, right? It can be a couch at home, right? And I'm doing it now. The trick here is I'm not going straight down. I'm going in on a 45 degree. Okay. So I'm doing like a 45-degree push-up. I'm not doing a one-arm push-up. Okay. So you can, if you have a wall, you can do it with a wall too. Just, maybe not a good wall. You have to repaint it, right? So one hand on the one part of the couch and the other foot, and just do like 5 push-ups on one, and then flip it and try the other one. Okay, try it. Try it at home. Okay. How was that one? How was the pressure on that? I bet you that was quite different. Now,
a little bit on the left, on the hands that were on the ground, right? Yeah.
So I find when you do exercises like that, where you start to really realize what's dominant, what's not dominant, like it starts to divide you. Um, the number one reason I love doing those kind of movements where I don't know, it's really awkward. My brain is is trying to figure out what I'm doing. I love shocking my mind when my brain has to like say, what is Emmanuel doing? When it's trying to figure me out, it's awesome. I really find it awesome, you know. The men out there, we do it quite naturally. If you have kids trying to figure out what the hell is going on in their mind, like you ever have those moments where you stop for a quick moment and say, what the hell is going on in their mind? So I love these kind of things. They also show kind of my weaknesses quicker. They show where I have a weakness much quicker, and allows me to kind of find it. Okay, does that make sense? Anybody else feel any pressure, any different pressure? Do they have any different understandings? No, it's okay. You don't need to. I'm just putting it out
Just
there.
that it's different from side to side. It felt very different
Yeah,
doing it on the
yeah.
one side than the other side.
So can I mess with your minds a little bit more? It's just because I figure it's not just for governments. So might as well do it to you guys too. So I'm now Eric's laughing at me. I'm now gonna do a pinwheel around my bench. So I'm gonna start to move on my bench. I could explain it, maybe easier to show it to you, right? So I start with 2, and then I start to kind of work my way around. So I always have like, I'm kind of moving around the bench, right? So I'm kind of like, I'm doing a push-up, like a parkour push-up. I got very uneven, so I'm moving around kind of like Spider-Man training. I don't know how you want to call it. I mean, Jason saw Spider-Man, told me it was amazing, so now I'm inspired. So you're kind of moving in a push-up fashion around objects. You can do this at home, off on anything, on a wall, on a chair, on a couch. Put a foot on it, put an arm on it. Try it. It's really interesting. It's a great workout, and it's very creative, right? Try it if you can. It doesn't matter where, right? If you have a dog, put a hand on the dog. It might move. Like just for you, you're doing push-ups on completely uneven surfaces, multiple uneven surfaces. Try it if you can, guys. So what this does is it starts to train you to be ready to adapt. Like you don't need push-up for the sake of a push-up. You need to move on stuff. You need to be able to move freely. Think of a pommel horse. Look at what a person can do on a pommel horse, right? How they can move on this object, right? You're moving across objects. Karen, that's great. That's great. Mural, awesome, awesome. Yeah, don't forget the legs. You go with your legs too. Yeah, that's it, Eric. That's it. Yeah. Bent legs, straight legs. Oh, like it must be 30 degrees over there. Jesus. Okay, great. Great. Stop. Let me add something. You're doing great, all of you. Let's build on this quickly, okay? So find a position, right? So like if let's say I'm here, right? I'm in this awkward, and from this position, I'm gonna kick something or I'm gonna throw a punch. So from these different positions that you're in, see how you can punch or how you can kick from these awkward positions, right? So it's like I'm doing a push-up, but then I want to punch somebody, or I'm doing a push-up and then I want to kick somebody, right? And you start to see, can you punch from an awkward position, right? Because this is how it happens when we're fighting, right? So move around an object, and then somewhere in between stop and say, can I throw a punch or can I throw a kick, right? This is a real hallmark of Systema training. It's being able to work in unusual and uncomfortable positions. So it's like you're combining a push-up, movement, and punches and kicks, right? Don't rush, take your time, find your breathing. Jay, you can find your breathing. Yeah, keep your breathing. Jason, you can even, don't go so low. Like you can even start like in a much more relaxed position, right? It doesn't have to be like a full-blown push-up that's something that's struggling, right? Measure the pressure on your body and just judge accordingly, okay? Well, stay with your breathing, that's all. Stay with your breathing. Yeah, backwards punches, sideways punches, kicks. So good, guys. Looks great. Sarah, you there? Yeah. So watch. So if you, let's say, squat down a little bit, just like lower yourself a little bit, right? And then say to yourself, okay, can I punch this way? Or yeah, or can I punch above me? Maybe you're fighting a giant, or behind you, right? And then maybe can you kick behind you? Start with something that's a little bit unusual, and then progress to something more complex, right? It's like I always say, it's like a gymnastics guy that got angry, right? It's always interesting. It's kind of like that, right? It's a little bit more dynamic. Okay, make sense? Awesome, awesome. Okay, guys, great, wonderful. Come on up. I just, it's just some ideas for your training to give you like how I build in creativity, right? Now, what I found when I do these is that it's very easy because let's say you really want to punch something, right? But as I'm throwing a punch, let's say I'm in my push-up here, right? I feel pressure, 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 no pressure on the arm that I want to. But as I throw my punch, I start to feel the pressure moves. Like as you start to throw a punch or a kick, you realize that some other part of your body is picking up a pressure, and you have to detect that, okay? It's like always understand what you give up to get something. That's a really tricky thing. Like try to see that play as a mental, as a spiritual, as a physical thing as well, right? Understand that for you to stay in this position, for me to lift my arm, the pressure had to change. So if I'm in a push-up and I have 4 points of support, for me to pick up my fist, the pressure has to change. It went from a square to a triangle. And that's different. That's different than a square. 4 points of support are completely different than 3 points of support are completely different, and 2 points of support are completely different than 1 point of support. Okay. That's not as an idea. You have to feel that as a pressure. That's all it is. Okay. So don't get too caught up in the punches and kicks. Keep some of the focus that I showed you with the breathing and the pressure, which is really, really important. Okay. Make sense? Okay. Lie down now. Lie down your ground. Let's bring this down a little bit so you can see me. Guys, ask me questions as I go. Like I don't want to, if you have anything, just go live and ask. Okay. So with the bench again, okay? I'm grabbing the bench and I'm just using it for some stability, right? And I'm going to lift my legs up and I'm going to start to kind of move them, okay? Move them all around, okay? It doesn't matter how you move them, right? They can be together, they can separate and do their own thing, right? But I'm using the bench for some stability. and it's right above my head. Okay, very good. Now go beside the thing. So now I'm beside my bench, okay? So I only have one hand on it and it's not above my head, but it's beside me. So if it's a couch, the couch is beside you. So somehow hold on to this bench or couch, whether it's from the top, whether it's from the bottom, wherever you feel comfortable, hold on to this and start to move your legs, okay? And you realize it'll feel a tiny bit different because you only have one point of support or stability, right? You can lift your legs as far back, you can lift them as far forward, twist and turn them. Now switch sides. So the other side. So put a hand on the a chair or couch or bench, somewhere where it feels comfortable. Lift both legs up and start to move them. So you're touching, you're getting some support with just the one hand. Make sure you can breathe. Okay, very good. Come around, guys, quickly, just to see it. Okay, now I want you to move freely with your legs. So you're on the ground with your legs, but you always have to somehow be touching your bench or your couch or your chair. So at beginning, I'm like this, right? But then I could start to kind of move my my legs and my hands all around, right? So wherever I feel, I can grab the bench and I can change my position all the time. So you start to move a little bit more free, but you have to touch the bench and take some sort of support with your hands and then move your legs freely. Go, try it. Let me watch you guys work. Try it. That's it, Sarah. That's it. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's good. That's it, Jay. That's just Jason. Nice. Very good. Alberto, nice. Nice. Yeah, the arms just feelers. They don't do anything. It's mostly the work from the leg. Whole leg. Nice, nice, nice. Take a breath if you need, Sarah. Take a breath. It's just ideas, right? Just ideas, right? If you lie down, Sarah, lie down, grab the couch underneath from there. Yeah. Just lift up both your legs. Lift up both, and just move them. Don't go crazy. Bend the knees, relax them. Yeah. Just move them around. Play with them. Think of like how kids play with their legs. They can go their own way together, separate. Yeah, ankles, knees, hips. Yeah, just move them. If you find your breathing, you can relax anytime. But this alone, it's already good enough to stimulate the legs, right? Because they never move like this. Last time, maybe when you were a baby or something, right? Okay, stop for a sec, guys. Try this for me. Come close and try this, okay? Now, have you guys ever seen those guys on YouTube? They can do the they go to like a pole, they grab it, they lift themselves up, and they can make themselves like a human flag. I don't know if you've ever seen this, right? Or the people that start to walk, they could. This is amazing, right, guys? Believe me, this I try this all the time. I haven't been successful yet, but the moment I do, I'll tell you guys. But try it like this. So just watch me for a sec. Okay, see if you can see it. I've been practicing. So it's like I'm walking and then back. It's so it looks so silly, but the fine motor control that you have to use to imagine you're walking all the way around and all the way back, and also left and right. Try it. Just hold the couch and try that walking man. I know Oleg's been dying to do this. I know. Alberto, you got work to do. You got work to do. Practice, man. Karen, not bad. That's not bad. That's okay. Miro is pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's good. Okay, guys. Good enough. Good. How was it? Could you see that skill set of being able to move, but with control, like a walk? Think of something as familiar as a walk, right? The fine control there. But how challenging was that? Not too bad, right? Try it when you're doing a chin up next time, and then you'll see what I mean. It's not so easy, right? It's a high level of body awareness, control, tons of inspiration on YouTube. There's also garbage, but there's also lots of wonderful inspiration too of guys that are doing some amazing stuff with body weight exercises. It's spectacular. Okay. Questions before I move on? It's okay. Okay, good. Stand up. Okay. Let me just move the camera up so you guys can see me. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So with the bench, okay, sit down. Okay, sit down. So now stand up and sit down. Okay. Now I want you to put all your awareness here. Okay. So in your chest. Okay. So heart, lungs, put all your awareness here and literally lift yourself from here. And then sit yourself down here, not from your legs. Okay. I want you to stand up from here, from your chest. And then it's like your chest went down, so you went down. So it's like somebody pulled you up, pushed you down, and you went from the chest, not from the legs. Your legs will bend, but I want you to stand and sit from here, not from your legs. Just think about it. You're sitting from here. No, guys, stop. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down, okay? Feel the pressure here. Put your hands on your chest. Feel your breathing. Okay, feel your breathing. Never lose this feeling, okay? And stand from here, not from your legs. Literally stand because your chest rise up. Go. Stand up when you can. And now from here, sit down. Don't sit down from your legs. Forget about your legs. Your legs know what to do. It's different, Jefferson, completely different. It's much more subtle. It's much more, you stand up because of something different, right? Usually people, watch me for a sec, guys. Watch me. You can watch a lot by how people sit. So if I've worked all day, right? I've had a physical day, let's say. Watch how people sit. They come, they grab their legs, they hunch their shoulders, they sit down, and they let out usually a big sigh. Ugh. And then if you ask them to stand up right away, watch. They put their hands on their legs, they tense up their shoulders, and they stand up, right? It's like you're standing up through your tiredness or through your exhaustion. For me, when I sit down, I focus here and I just relax my legs and I sit down. And when I stand up, I lift my chest. I don't think about my legs as much. Exactly. And they're not as tired. They're not so whiny, right? Because yeah, the legs can get tired, okay? Awesome. Great. Okay. You got it. So that's how you're going to do squats. You don't do, your legs are bending, but I don't want you to focus on the thighs. It's not some thigh building exercise, okay? It's a functional movement. I need to get down and I need to get up by bending my legs. I don't want to sit down. I just want to bend down to pick something up. So keep that analogy in your head of having to bend down to pick something up. So we got a bench now, right? We're going with the bench theme, right? So I'm gonna touch the bench with one of my hands, or let's say both hands in front, and I'm gonna squat down. And I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna touch the bench a different way, in a different angle, and I'm gonna squat down almost like I'm picking something up, and I'm gonna come up. So I'm touching the bench for some support. I'm squatting down to pick something up, and I'm standing up. So move around your bench, move around your couch, lightly touch it, and then bend the knees and pretend to pick something up. Okay, don't focus on the squat. Think about picking something up and coming up. You dropped something, and you need to pick it up. But don't think about squatting. Look at just the functional movement completely. And different angles, go around the bench, around the bench. Try to see the pressure that's built up. When you squat, there's this pressure that builds up in the legs because they're bending. Feel the pressure as you squat and feel the pressure come off as you stand up, as your legs straighten. Great. Good. Now it's completely opposite. So I'm not bending down, but I'm lifting my leg up. So this bench, I want to step over it. Now look at my step. It's exactly like a squat. It's exactly like I squatted, but I'm not squatting. I'm lifting up and I'm coming over. Okay. If you have friends that they sit too much, or they don't like exercise, or they have bad knees or something like this that prevents them from doing a squat, get them like lifting their leg over something. So like, look, I lift my leg up, right, and I have to step over. right? So now walk around your house and just step over things, over the table, over a chair, maybe not a table, depends how big the table is, but lift your leg up over something. So it's like a squat, but in a different angle. Okay, try just step around things, right? If you have kids and throw Legos everywhere, you'll see what I mean by stepping. You have to watch where you step. Sarah, can you lift your leg over that chair, the back of that chair? There you go. Yeah, yeah, like that. It's excellent because it's actually a squat, but you never saw it that way because you're lifting your leg over something, right? So it's actually yes, yeah, 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 and that's kind of high. I get it, but you did it already. You did it, right? Yeah. Okay, guys, very good. Watch me for a second. Okay, so tell me what's wrong with my walk.
Clumpy.
Clunky, right? It's not smooth, right? When you're hopping over this, I want you to watch. Think of your hips, your knees, your ankles, like everything your arms can do, right? Everything, all this movement. Like I can have my elbows and shoulders very visible, or I can move them in such a way that they disappear. That my arm is almost like a rock in a sock, right? The shoulder, the elbow soften. When you're stepping, for you, your hips, your knees, and your ankles should soften. It's like they're able to change angles. They're able to kind of, really, yeah, step over things, not so robotic, like clunk, clunk. Like the hip can relax. Like it's almost like a whip-like leg. Like keep your legs loose. Don't, because when we step over something, we tense them up, and that's how they break when they get to the other side, because they're tense. And then when you step, they tend to not do well. Teach yourself when you're stepping over something not to tense up. It's just like I taught everybody yesterday how to fall without tensing, like step over something without tensing up your leg, right? Jay, you got it, right? Jason, you got it? Smith, yeah, good, good. Really soft with the legs. And try not to even look down. Like just kind of like I'm looking at you. I kind of know where this bench is. And I'm trying to kind of step over it. Nice, Jefferson. Nice. That's it. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Awesome. Watch me for a sec. Have you, so when you're stepping, do you feel the difference in pressure from one leg to the other? So I'll kind of talk to you as what I'm feeling, right? So when I'm here, I'm on both legs. As soon as I lift up this leg, right away I feel the pressure in the supporting leg. And then as I step over, as soon as this leg makes contact on the other side, I shift the pressure and weight over. So as you're stepping, you need to feel the change in the pressure and weight from one leg to the other. And don't focus on the big quad muscle. I want you to focus on the bottom of your foot. Okay, so what touched? Is the pressure on the outside of the foot, inside of the foot, on the tiptoes, or on the heel? So if I step over with my tiptoe, then I want to roll down on my foot. So how you can keep good balance and not hurt yourself is that when, let me see if I can get a close up. I can show you my foot, because let's see if I can get a close up of my foot as it touches. So hope you guys can see. So if my toe touches, right, then I relax my ankle and I bring the pressure towards the foot. So it depends. Let me take off my shoe. You can see it. So if this touches, right, the pressure goes this way. If this touches, it goes like that. It's like I bring my foot down to the ground. I don't tunk, 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 right? I let the ankle smoothly put the pressure on top of the foot. I don't go kunk, kunk, okay? So try it one more time and pay more close attention to the pressure and the way you put your weight on the bottom of your foot. Yeah, be very attentive to that.
So you're talking about the distribution of pressure.
Distribution, because yeah,
Right.
because if I'm stepping backwards, maybe I'm on my toe. If I step forward, maybe I'm going to be on my heel. So the pressure will feel completely different. Okay, because think of a good handshake. Oh, like if I shake your hand, the way the pressure I put on the hand will give you a different feeling, right? It's not just grip pressure, but where the palms are, where how our hands line up, right? No, hopefully it makes sense. Your foot, guys, a
Yeah,
step is,
hence
it's
your
like
point about not being robotic. There's a
no,
constantly difference to the way pressure dissipates in the body. I got you.
yeah, exactly, guys. Exactly. Really, it is a handshake. It truly is a handshake. It's like, yes, there's a mechanical aspect to the handshake, but then it depends on what I feel on the other side, how I adapt. So as your foot comes over and touches the ground, it's got to sense pressure. Right? And the ultimate is when you slip, there is no pressure. Then that'll be on YouTube for sure. Awesome, guys. I think you got it. You got the idea. You got the idea. Okay, sit on your bench. So now I want you to study how to fall, or how to fall smoothly from a seated position. Okay. Now I kind of want you to do it maybe more tactically, right? So let's say I'm on a bench and I realize I need to be on the floor as compared to I fell, right? So, maybe I'm sitting somewhere and there's a gun in the room and I need to get off of this level, right? So I put one hand on the side of the bench and I take some pressure off my butt cheek. Okay. So it's like I help myself. So I push the bench down, I raise my bum cheek up, and I just a little bit, not enough to stand. And I kind of straighten my leg. And now I'm sliding. So I have my back on and then very slowly, I kind of start to kind of get to the ground. Okay. And again, very similar. I'm going to find some support and sit back up on that bench I came from. Okay. So from a seated position, slide to the ground, completely down, completely on the ground, and then slide back up. Sliding up is much harder than sliding down. But, it's very interesting, guys. If you can do this at a party with nobody noticing, it's amazing. Like if you could fall without anybody realizing you fell, that's some high skill, man. Now, there really is countless ways. So just watch me for a quick second because you guys are doing, I can see you're getting creative already. So I showed you one with my hand on the bench, right? But I could also do something similar where I lie down, right? And I start to kind of I want you to move on this bench however you like. Left, right, forward. I don't even need my hands. I can just stretch out my leg if I relax my hips, right? Just one hip. So I'm seated with both pressure on my hips. If I straighten one leg, I free up my glutes. I place my forearm on the bench and I slowly come down. There's many ways to slide off a seated position to the floor and then to get back up. Try. Find as many as you can. Just be smooth about it, guys. Just be super smooth about this. Yeah, front, back, left, right. It didn't matter to me. That's it, Sarah. That's it. Somebody from yesterday's class just practice being a little bit drunk. You know, maybe this is European system. I don't know. But you slide and then you come back up. Yeah. So Jefferson, try with your legs, try with your arms. See, stay like that, Jefferson. Stay like that. Okay. Drop your head down. Drop your head down. Let your head drop further towards, and yeah, and then slowly come off from your head. Anything can start the movement as long as it's relaxed. Oh, nice, Miro. Nice, 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 nice. And if you have enough flexibility, Miro, you can go to a roll. If you're really relaxed enough, it can be anything. It just depends on the person how they feel they would fall. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Awesome, guys. Come close, please. Come close. It's great. Really, it is. There's hours of training here for your like, but try it at home once in a while, falling from a chair. Now, certain positions will scare you. There's no doubt, and you'll see that your hands will want to come. Okay. So let's say I'm here. I'll kind of show you the backwards version. Let's say and somebody's pushing me, right? So I feel this free fall, right? It's important for you to know how to hold and how to find support quickly. So I allow my hands to touch the ground, but not slam into the ground. So it's like I want my hands to be more like whiskers of a cat. They feeling information. I don't allow them to stop something. They're not going to stop my fall. But from a short distance, what's panic is I'm not sure where the ground is. The moment I know where I am and where the ground is, I'm instantly more relaxed. Okay. Because any of you ever done skydiving, you know what I mean. You don't know where the end is. You're going to the end, but that's the scary part. The moment you get there, you're much more relaxed because you've got there. So if I'm on a bench and I'm here and somebody pushes me this way, right? If I allow my hand to touch the ground, it's so much easier for me to calm down. So it can touch, the ground, but it's as a feeler. It's not going to stop your fall. That's where people make the mistake. Okay, so you train your hands to be more sensitive when they touch things and to give you a point of reference, but they're not going to sit here. Like even here, I put my hand on the bench. I'm not lifting myself through my shoulder. I get close and I sit myself up, but I'm not doing a shoulder press. That's not the main goal of the thing. Okay. Anyway, how did you like everything, guys? How was it? So from the very beginning, I showed you the breathing with pressure. Okay. Please, you have to find first, you have to understand pressure from breathing. So by breathing in deeply, I feel the pressure on my chest. By breathing out deeply, I feel the pressure relieving. And then I start understanding exercises, not as muscles, pressure on my body. So muscles connect to the skeletal system. When I tense a muscle, it puts pressure on my body. It tenses it, but it's a pressure on the body, right? So once you start seeing that, now any angle that you changes the pressure on the body. And then you be attentive to that. And then tomorrow, when you're fighting or you're training in martial art aspects, your body is very sensitive to grab pressure, grab direction, as compared to just doing exercises and then martial art and not combining the two. There is definitely a synergy that if I understand how pressure comes onto my body from something like a bench or the floor or different angles, it's also easy to understand the same pressure when people grab, punch, kick, or grab me, right? It's very easy to sense that right away. So you make your body an information gathering tool to understand pressure and understand that. Now, in life and the same, you need to see it, like see the pressure that your kids put on you. See the pressure that your boss puts on you. See the pressure that certain situations put on you. Understand the difference, right? Please. And some situations relieve pressure, right? So you have to understand how things give and take pressure on your body and what brings out the best. Now, I'll tell you this is an interesting one about pressure. I met a guy who was a very good shot with the gun. And he said to me, because I love precision, so I'm kind of a precision nut with those things. And everybody always asks these good shooters how to stay still. And he goes, why the hell do you want to stay still for? He goes, it makes you so nervous because now that you're still, you feel you have to shoot. And he goes, why would you do that? He goes, let the sight move around, relax and shoot. Because it's not still now. It's the same as if he said, the guy that's trying to be perfect, why the hell would you want to be perfect? Because it's so much stress being perfect. Because it's okay to make mistakes. You can relax and do and say more things because you're not worried about being perfect. And I never saw it that way, right? Understanding pressure and understanding how to relieve it, move it, allows you from being perfect. You can just understand pressure and move and move freely through the world. It's so interesting, right? That's why there's certain people that understand how never to let heavy pressure stick to them. I don't know how it is, but they do, right? Did you enjoy everything, guys? Did you have fun?
So much. Really good class for the first class of the year.
It's awesome, guys. I got a lot planned for you guys. We're going to make January a little bit more physical. Like I said, a little bit more of the physical stuff because I think we need it. I think we just need it, right? And we'll work on other stuff as we go on. Please, your input is always a pleasure to me. So email me, message me, whether it's on the Signal chat or whether it's on through email. Let me know where you're stuck or where your problems are. I'm so happy to help you guys. Believe me, you're not bothering me. Just give me a couple of days and I'll usually get back to you one way or the other, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Manny.
See you
Thanks,
Monday.
everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Take care. Nice to see everybody, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot,
Thank
Manny.
you, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Bye. Bye. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.